Assalamualaikum and a very good day. Abid to you, Miss Arifah. So for today, me, Muhammad Rusyaidi family Mustapa, and also my groupmate, Anom Suraya, and also Sabrina will be presenting about literary presentation. Without wasting any more time, here is the introduction. We have two texts provided in this whole presentation, which is the English to Malay text and also the Malay to English text. For the English to Malay text, it is about a young boy who went viral online, and for the second text, it is about the importance and beauty of the Malay language. So now I'm going to pass it to the next person presenting. Thank you.
So the first text is about a young boy who went viral online for his video on finding a wild python. Sungai Petani. The young lad who gained internet fame with his slick reporting style after discovering a large python in Bukit Selambau near here says he hopes to have a one-on-one interview with Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Muhammad Haziq Muhammad Ashraf, 12, said it was his dream to meet the country's leader whom he has only seen on TV and newspapers. I really want to meet him. I want to interview the PM, Prime Minister, and I will also make donuts and bread for him. He told Bernama when met at his home in Kampung Penghulu Tua, Bukit Selambau, near here Friday. His Facebook live video on the discovery of the large python on January 24th gained over 1.2 million views. Muhammad Haziq, who also likes to cook, seems like a quiet boy, but his demeanor changes in front of the camera. His mother, Nur Shakila Zainul, 33, said she and her husband, Muhammad Ashraf Ahmad, 37, strongly supported their son's interest and encouraged him to continue producing news report videos to hone his talent. As for the Malay translation, Sungai Petani, seorang anak muda yang telah mencuri perhatian ramai di internet dengan lagak gayanya yang petah dalam memberi laporan mengenai penemuan seekor ular sawa yang besar berdekatan Bukit Selambau, meluahkan hasratnya untuk mengadakan sesi temu bual khas bersama Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Muhammad Haziq Muhammad Ashraf, 12, berkata ia merupakan impiannya untuk berjumpa dengan pemimpin negara yang hanya dilihatnya menerusi kaca televisyen dan surat khabar. Saya amat mahu berjumpa dengannya. Saya mahu menemu ramah Perdana Menteri dan saya juga akan membuat roti dan donat untuk beliau. Katanya kepada Bernama apabila dijumpai di Kampung Penghulu Tua, Bukit Selambau pada Jumaat 4 Februari. Video siaran langsung di akaun Facebook kepunyaannya mengenai penemuan ular sawa yang besar pada 24 Januari telah meraih lebih daripada 1.2 juta tontonan. Muhammad Haziq yang juga gemar memasak kelihatan seperti seorang pendiam, tetapi gelagatnya berubah apabila berada di hadapan kamera. Ibunya, Nur Shakila Zainul, 33, berkata dia dan suaminya Muhammad Ashraf Ahmad, 37, sangat menyokong minat anak mereka dan menggalakkan dia untuk terus menghasilkan video laporan berita bagi mengasah lagi bakatnya. So the first grammar rule we've derived from the text before is the rule of prepositions, which in Malay is also known as kata sendi nama. Some examples of kata sendi nama that we frequently hear include dengan, dari, daripada, pada, kepada, untuk, akan, and oleh. These examples hold the same meaning to the English prepositions, which are with, from, of, on, to, towards, and by. The preposition detected from the text can be seen in the sentence here. In English, which is the source language, the young lad who gained internet fame with his slick reporting style after discovering a large python. In Malay, which is the target language, seorang anak muda yang telah mencuri perhatian ramai di internet dengan lagak gayanya yang petah dalam memberi laporan mengenai penemuan seekor ular sawa. The word with and dengan are the prepositions in these sentences. So what is a preposition? A preposition is a word or phrase used before a noun, noun phrase, or pronoun to show four different things, which are time, direction, place, and location. When we analyze the translation of the sentence, we can see that the formula used is preposition plus modifier plus object of the preposition. this is the basic formula for a prepositional phrase. The word dengan here means bersama-sama. Dengan acts as the preposition, while lagak is the modifier, and gayanya is the object of the preposition. A modifier acts as a word that enhances the meaning of the sentence.
Now I'm going to proceed with the second grammar component, which is kata ganti nama. As you guys can see, there are two sentences. The source language is in English and the targeted language is in Malay. But we'll be focusing on the targeted language. What does kata ganti nama, or in English we call it as pronouns, means? A pronoun is a word that is used instead of a noun or a noun phrase. Pronouns refers to either a noun that has already been mentioned or to a noun that does not need to be named specifically. So as you guys can see in the another box down there are two different categories of pronouns, which is pronoun as subject and also pronouns as object. And under each category, we can see there are three different types of pronouns, which is first person pronouns, second person pronoun, and third person pronouns. First person pronouns are people speaking or writing. The second person pronouns is the person or people being spoken to. And the third person pronouns is the other people or things being spoken to. As you guys can see, here is the targeted language text. Muhammad Haziq Muhammad Ashraf 12 berkata, ia merupakan impiannya untuk berjumpa dengan pemimpin negara. Ia here is highlighted as it is a third person pronouns. You guys can see here, grammar apply is third person pronouns, which is kata ganti nama diri yang ketiga. We use kata ganti diri nama yang ketiga to refers to some things being spoken to. Basically, it is from the third person's POV. So here you guys can see, ia merupakan impiannya. Impiannya is the dreams in English. So we are using the word ia because it refers to the dreams. Now let us moving on to the third grammar component, which is kata keterangan. So as you guys can see, just like before, there are two sentences, which is in English and also Malay. Just straight up talking about the definitions of kata keterangan, or also known as adverbs. An adverb is a word that modifies, basically describes a verb and an adjective, another adverb, or even a whole sentence. In English grammar component, it usually ends in ly, but some look the same as their adjective counterparts. There are several types of adverbs in Malay, which are kata keterangan cara, kata keterangan bantu, and kata keterangan darjah. But we will only be looking at the kata keterangan darjah. So here is the text analysis. The rule apply here is kata keterangan darjah in Malay. It means that to describe the level of the degree of a certain adjective. Some example of kata keterangan darjah, which is agak, aman, nian, paling, dan sangat. We use it to describe adjectives such as here the adjective is mahu. So we wanted to describe the level of the desire of how Haziq wanted to meet the Prime Minister. Therefore we use the word amat.
Assalamualaikum, I am Sabrina. I will be presenting about derivative verb, or in Malay kata kerja kawitan. The source language, Muhammad Haziq, who also likes to cook. Malay targeted language, Muhammad Haziq yang juga gemar memasak. Memasak is a derivative verb. What is kata kerja kawitan or derivative verb? It is word forms that contain base words that earn or receive remuneration. Derivative words are formed through the process of accretion, which is a process that combines the affixes on the base word and produces four forms of derivative words. So we have kata terbitan berawalan, kata terbitan berakhiran, kata terbitan berapitan, and kata terbitan bersisipan. In this context, we are using derivative verb, kata terbitan berawalan. Prefix derivative word. Derived nouns can exist in derived nouns, derived verbs, and derived adjectives. This prefix has four forms: me, men, mem, and mum. We will see the example here. Example for memasak. Men, mendarat. Mem, membeli. Meng, mengembak. Next we have adjectives. The English source language seems like a quiet boy, but his demeanor changes in front of the camera. Malay targeted language kelihatan seperti seorang pendiam tetapi gelagatnya berubah apabila berada di hadapan kamera. This is actually kata adjektif imbuhan. Adjectives can accept prefixes, suffixes, or even insertions. Remuneration that can form adjectives ter, pen, se, ke, at, l, and in. We will see the example here. We have terindah, pendiam, setebal, ketimuran, gemilang, gelembung, kerdik, sinambung. Moving into the second text, the source language is Malay. The title of this text is Bahasa Bukan Hiasan. Dalam keindahan infrastruktur dan kemudahan dunia pertama, biar negara ini dihuni oleh masyarakat kelas 1 yang tahu menghormati bahasa kebangsaan sebagai bahasa jambatan, penyatuan pelbagai kumpulan dalam stratifikasi masyarakat di samping kekal sebagai bahasa kebangsaan, bahasa rasmi serta bahasa ilmu. Bahasa yang dimartabatkan sebagai bahasa kebangsaan negara tidak wajar dijadikan sekadar hiasan. Tidak ada maknanya juga jika hanya termaktub satu perenggan dalam perlembagaan persekutuan. Sebaliknya, bahasa Melayu itu wajib disuntik dengan nilai, diberi nyawa dan diberi tempat yang selayaknya. Ingatlah, maruah sesuatu bangsa itu terletak pada bahasanya. Seseorang yang menamakan dirinya warga Malaysia mesti secara ikhlas dan jujur menyanjung tinggi penghormatannya sebagai seorang rakyat Malaysia, kerana di sinilah bumi dipijak. Oleh itu, setiap daripada kita mesti menguasai bahasa kebangsaan kerana bahasa itu membawa bersama sifat kepunyaan dalam diri setiap warganya. Pada masa sama, ia juga memastikan maruah bangsa yang terdapat dalam perlembagaan sentiasa terpelihara. Jangan hanya kerana segelintir permintaan, maka kita korbankan bahasa. Tanpa bahasa Melayu, mana mungkin wujud bangsa Malaysia? Tanpa bangsa Malaysia, siapalah kita? The targeted language for this text is in English. The title is Language is Not a Decoration. In the beauty of infrastructure and first world conveniences, let this country be inhabited by first-class society who knows how to respect the national language as the bridge that unites many different groups in the stratification of society, as well as maintain it as the national, official and educational language. The language which is dignified as the national language of the country should not be treated as decoration. It is also meaningless if the language is only written as a single paragraph in the Federal Constitution, whereas Malay should be filled with values, given life and placed where it belongs. Remember, the pride of a race depends on its language. One who considers themselves a Malaysian must be sincere and honest when displaying self-respect as a fellow Malaysian, as it is where they originated. Therefore, each and every one of us must master the national language as it brings with it the sense of belonging in every citizen. At the same time, it also ensures the perseverance of the race's pride found in the Constitution. Do not let a sliver of request be the reason for us to sacrifice the language. Without the Malay language, Malaysian culture would not exist. Without Malaysian culture, who are we? The first grammar component for this text is adjectives. From Malay source language, dalam keindahan infrastruktur dan kemudahan dunia pertama, the English targeted language, in the beauty of infrastructure and first world conveniences. So what is adjectives? Adjectives is words that describe the characteristic or state of being of nouns. Examples: big, dog-like, goofy, yellow, fun, and swift. It acts as a complement to linking verbs. Linking verbs describes a state of being or sensory experience. For example, to feel, to seem, and to taste.
Now I'm going to proceed with the second grammar component, which is auxiliary verb. As you guys can see, there are two sentences, one in Malay and also one in English. The Malay one is the source language and the English one is the targeted language. The Malay one, bahasa yang dimartabatkan sebagai bahasa kebangsaan negara tidak wajar dijadikan sekadar hiasan. Tidak wajar dijadikan is highlighted here. The English one, the language which is dignified as the national language of the country should not be treated as decoration. Should not be treated is highlighted here. So it is highlighted because it is auxiliary verb. What is auxiliary verb? Auxiliary verb is a verb such as have, be, may, do, shall, will, can, or must that is used with another verb to show the verb stance or to form a question. An auxiliary verb is a verb that changes or helps another verbs, meaning it is a verb to help another verbs to make to inject more mood or tense inside of the sentences. As you guys can see, this is the targeted language, which is in English. The language which is dignified as the national language of the country should not be treated as decoration. Should not be treated here is highlighted because it is auxiliary verb. Should is used. The word should not be is used before the verb treated as an auxiliary verb to reaffirm the actions of the verb. The rule is quite simple because we can use auxiliary verb in a sentence to indicate a mood if and only there is a verb after the auxiliary verb. For example, I ride a bicycle. Ride is the verb. So if I wanted to put an auxiliary verb there to put more emotion in the sentences, I could put should in that sentence, meaning it would be I should ride a bicycle. Or maybe another example, I lend you some money. I can put could, the word could, as an auxiliary verb to help the origin verb, which is lend. It will be I could lend you some money. Therefore, you can see that we will give more emotions to the sentences. Without wasting any more time, let us proceed with this third grammar component, which is conjunctions. In Malay, oleh itu setiap daripada kita mesti menguasai bahasa kebahasaan in English. Therefore, each and every one of us must master the national language. So, what is conjunctions? Conjunction is a word used to connect clauses or sentences or to coordinate words in the same clause. So, there are three conjunction words, which is coordinating conjunction, correlative conjunction, and subordinating conjunction. But we will be only focusing on subordinating conjunctions. So here is the text analysis. Therefore, each and every one of us must master the national language. Therefore, here is used as a subordinating conjunction. It is because the definition of subordinating conjunction is a word of praise that links a dependent clause to an independent clause. Therefore, is used to show the result or effect of an action. She came first. Therefore, she got a good seat. Therefore, is used to link two different sentences with two different actions, which is she came first and she got a good seat. She got a good seat is an independent clause because we cannot really simply put it like that. It will be the sentences will be a bit weird. Therefore, we use the word therefore there to link to the first sentence, which is she came first.
The next grammar rule found in the text is the rule of prepositions. It is similar to the first rule that was explained for the first text at the beginning of the video. But in this case, the preposition found is the word dalam and in. Malay, source language. Bahasa itu membawa bersama sifat kepunyaan dalam diri setiap warganya. English, which is the target language, it brings with it the sense of belonging in every citizen. The meaning of the sentence is to tell how the Malay language gives every citizen a feeling as if they have somewhere they belong. the feeling in this case is an abstract thing, which is why in this translation, in is used instead of inside. Inside can only be used to describe the position of something physical and more commonly used for objects or people that are in an enclosed space. The sense of belonging is merely a sense. It is not a physical object that is located inside the human body. It is found in the individual in a spiritual sense. Another difference between the words in and inside is that in can be used for both location or time. For example, in the house or in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, the word inside can only be used for location. For example, inside the box. Finally, the last grammar rule for this text is the rule of possessive nouns. In Malay, pada masa sama, ia juga memastikan maruah bangsa yang terdapat dalam perlembagaan sentiasa terpelihara. In English, at the same time, it also ensures the perseverance of the race's pride found in the Constitution. As you can see, the phrase maruah bangsa and the race's pride are the possessive nouns. Possessive nouns are to show ownership. It describes when an object belongs to a subject, but the use of possessive nouns can be rather confusing as there are a few rules to be followed. So what are the rules of possessive nouns? Singular nouns, which are objects that are singular, the apostrophe comes before the S. For example, girl's toy, boy's ball, Eddie's house, and Sal's bag. As for plural nouns, which refers to objects that come in many, the apostrophe comes after the S. For example, girls' room, boys' clothes, birds' habitat, and countries' flags. These rules only stop applying when, for singular nouns, the noun ends with S. For example, the bus's wheels. Bus ends with S, and therefore the apostrophe comes after it, even though it is a singular noun. Same goes to Jess's party. Since Jess's name ends with S, then the apostrophe comes after as well. For plural nouns, the rule does not apply when the noun does not end with S. For example, children, even though it is a plural noun, does not end with S, so the S comes after the apostrophe. Same goes to women. Women does not end with S, but it is a plural noun. So it's women's shoes, where the apostrophe comes before the S. According to the text, the highlighted phrase, race's pride, refers to the sense of proudness that belongs to the specific race mentioned in the text, which is the Malay race. The sentence is trying to say that the language will preserve the pride of Malay people. A common mistake usually made when working with possessive nouns is the wrong placement of the apostrophe. When the apostrophe is not placed, it can change the meaning of the sentence entirely. And when the apostrophe is in the wrong place, it can change singular nouns to plural nouns, or vice versa. And that concludes our presentation on the grammar rules of translation. We hope you enjoyed the video and found the information useful. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.